Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to make a bit of a different video, basically going over what I think Hot Toys may create for the 20th anniversary of Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which is only next year. So it's quite interesting to have a think about what they've done for previous anniversaries and what we might expect to see for this one. So, I mean, the history of anniversaries is quite mixed. We got quite a few for episode 2 20th, but obviously for the 40th of Return of the Jedi, we've not actually ended up with all that much. So it'll be interesting to see next year what comes to fruition and what doesn't. But I've basically split these up into things that I think are guaranteed or as close as, and things that are basically just me hoping or something they might create. So the first one I think they will do is the rooted hair version of the episode 3 look, based on their artisan edition that they announced last year. So this is due to come out later this year, and one of the main reasons I think they will release the sculpted hair version is because when they announced the Scarlet Witch and Joker around the same sort of time as this one, they both came with versions that had the sculpted hair. This Anakin didn't. You can only currently get this one as the rooted hair, and personally, I think that alludes to the fact that they're saving the sculpted version for next year. Obviously, that could just be and is me hypothesizing, but I think it might mean something. That will obviously be much more widely available in the fancy packaging, but yeah, obviously a lot of people weren't able to get the artisan version. I was fortunate enough to be able to, but yeah, it's definitely an upgrade over the original. This head sculpt is still very good. I have it. I have the dark side version, and I do very much like it. But I'm very excited for this version. So obviously, I'd expect them to change the hair from this a little bit. I still think the hair for this sculpt is too long. It shouldn't quite be as long as this. It should be a little shorter, but more akin to this one really. It just goes down to his collar really, whereas this sat further down. So yeah, I think they'll definitely be releasing the sculpted version of this one based on the same head sculpt, just with the sculpted hair and obviously the rooted eyes. So the next one I think they're likely to do is a new Obi-Wan. Again, in a similar vein, updated. Probably, obviously, this one wouldn't be rooted hair. This would just be sculpted, but with the rolling eyeballs, update for that. Probably update the outfit a little bit. He can sometimes look a little bit poofy in the outfit, but overall, I still do like the original. I just think the head sculpt, as a lot of people have said, could use a little more refinement, make it look a bit more like Ewan McGregor. We'll have to see how the Obi-Wan show version comes out when that releases. But yeah, update to the rolling eyes, update the outfit a little bit, and I think they could do probably a good DX or deluxe version where they include some swap out tunic pieces for the Mustafar look. Obviously, they've yet to do the Mustafar version of this, and that's one I'd like to see down the line, but I think it would make a really good double pack, either to just include the swap out robes, swap out tunic for the burnt Mustafar look, or even, a 2-pack like DX used to be. You include a fresh head sculpt, a different head sculpt, the entirely weathered robe, and then you've got a really solid DX release. That's one I'd really definitely buy. But base, I assume we're probably going to get an updated Obi-Wan. The next one I think we're probably going to get is, again, an updated Dooku. This one is still very good, so I don't know if they would actually go down the route of updating this one this is obviously based off of Attack of the Clones. The outfit doesn't change between the films, but I could obviously see them going for the, again, more refined head sculpt and the rolling eyeballs. Rolling eyeballs definitely add a lot to figures. I'm starting to see in my collection where ones without rolling eyeballs just look a little bit dead. So any upgrades to rolling eyeballs, in my opinion, is a win. The Dooku, as I say, the Dooku head sculpt is still very strong, so that's why I don't see them necessarily redoing him. But yeah, that's definitely one that goes for quite a hefty price. A lot of people wish they'd either re-release or just do a new version of. I don't see us actually getting a Yoda. Just where I just don't see it. I think the head sculpt on that is still perfectly fine. They could obviously do the rolling eyes, but I just don't see it. So the final one I think is basically a lock, is the Clone Trooper, specifically 212th. So this has been shown off before at cons, and it's obviously on the Sideshow RSVP list. Not that that ever means anything, but this has been shown a lot. It would make sense for it obviously to be released with the 20th anniversary of Episode 3. And I'd expect them probably to include the Phase 1 bucket, just as they did for the 20th anniversary of Episode 2. So obviously the Clone Trooper there was based off of Phase 1. They included as a bonus the Episode 3 look, Phase 2. This I'd expect to be the other way around, where they advertise it as Episode 3 and then give you the Phase 1 bucket extra. And that would obviously pair nicely with Cody. I wouldn't expect him to be re-released or updated. But yeah, a new Clone Trooper would be really good, and obviously a different Legion. I don't know if other people are, but I'm starting to get a little bit fed up of just 501st. I'd like a bit more variety. So the first one that I think could happen is a new Sidious, specifically in the black / Chancellor outfit, the red version. Now, this look from the Clone Wars is meant to be the same outfit as the Episode 3 look, in the basically the full black robe with the velvet kind of overarm bit. That was, I think, confirmed by Dave Filoni, and obviously in figure format it looks a bit different. This head sculpt, obviously you'd want change because it isn't properly accurate to Episode 3. This looks more like the Episode 2 kind of promo shots / obviously their interpretation of the Clone Wars. It'd be great to see, the Senator look as well as the full-on Darth Sidious wrinkly face. So yeah, him, I could see one or the other. I wouldn't expect to get both, or any at all really. But yeah, we'll see how this one turns out. If it's popular enough, they might consider. But yeah, the next one, General Grievous. This one's optimistic because obviously it's quite a lot of engineering on their part, and obviously to save or recoup as much money as possible, they want to reuse as many molds as possible. With Grievous, you can't really reuse it unless potentially down the line they gave us a battle damage version, which I could see. But yeah, this one obviously you'd expect to be die cast, include everything the Sideshow one basically has, so his blaster, the Magna Guard staff, the splitting arms, etc. It'd be really good to see this attempted and executed by Hot Toys, just where everything would just be so much crisper. the paint would be nicer, the sculpt work would be a little better, and I think for most people, the killer is the joints. I had this once and they were so loose you can't do anything, so I returned it. So this is one that I know a lot of people want to see, but I wouldn't necessarily expect them to make it again just for the cost, really. So the next one that I think could happen is, well, piggybacking off of that, is C3PO, but in the high metallic gold look. So this one obviously recently came out for Return of the Jedi. In episode 3 he was extremely shiny, kind of like a gold chrome version of the Mando armor that recently came out. So I'd almost expect them to take that silver Mando armor, turn that into gold, and use that finish for C3PO. So, I mean, I think it's quite interesting that they only recently brought this one out so close after announcing it. You can put that down to the fact that obviously they already had the molds, all they had to do was paint it, so it was a very quick turnaround. But I think it also has possibly to do with the fact that they want to release a new version in that high chrome gold, and that would basically mean that by the time he's announced, next year, this one should have sold out. So everyone that's already picked this one up or wants this one would have had a chance to get it, and then they've got a new version on the way. So there's no overlap of the two. That's just obviously me hypothesizing, but I think there's at least some merit to it. The next one that I could see them releasing is either Neo or Bly. I'd say Bly is a lot more likely. I couldn't find the official pictures for him, only Neo. But I'd say Bly's more likely just where he's appeared in more media. He was in a couple of Clone Wars episodes, and I think he's a little bit more popular. His armor, obviously, they wouldn't have to create this unique head or the unique helmet that Neo has. He's just got the regular Phase 2 helmet with the macro binoculars on. So I could see that one happening. But yeah, Neo, I really like Neo. It's a very unique design. So yeah, I'd see Bly. Again, to go with Bly would be great to get an Ayla, but I don't see Ayla getting made, just where, again, she's quite unique, and I don't know if too many people would buy her. So Bly, I think, could happen. At the moment, they don't seem to like to make anything other than 501st, which I understand, they're very popular, but I think people are craving for just more than 501st at this point. The next one, I think, and my final one, is the Utapau Trooper, the Airborne Trooper. So we have seen Hot Toys tease this one before. Obviously the Sideshow one exists, that's quite old now. And again, pair very nicely with Cody, and if they did release the regular 212, it'd go very well with that. This one I think is just a little less likely, obviously just where the mould doesn't exist for this yet, and it's quite specific, which is why I see the standard clone being more realistic than this. But I still think this has potential. I still think it'd be very popular. Maybe I'm not sure if it would be popular in this mould, but I definitely think it would. So that was my list. Let me know what you think. Have I missed any? Do you think that any of mine are wrong? Do you think any should be higher? Do you think some won't happen at all? Do you think we'll get any? So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the next video.